Hallöchen, Hallöchen, da sind wir wieder. Und ja, wir gehen weiter. Wir haben den Viel besiegt. Gibt es hier noch irgendwas vielleicht? Gibt es hier vielleicht noch irgendwas? Ist hier noch irgendwas? Ja, eine Kiste. Und auf der anderen Seite auch. Ist auch eine Kiste. Nö, da natürlich wieder nicht, ne? Ja, wie immer. Egal, wir gehen weiter. Oh. Scheint nur ein Ausgang zu sein. Alles klar. Okay.
We're back in that other room? Did the teleporter fail or something?
Something feels off about it.
Look! Everything's upside down!
The furnishings are, at least. No, you're right. The whole room's flipped on its head.
So what was once down is now up, and vice versa. I suppose the teleporter reversed our orientation then.
Ist wir jetzt da weiter oder? Auf jeden Fall Schnellreiseort. Heißt, wir später auch immer speichern. Ich weiß nicht, was da kommt. Okay. Auf geht's.
I guess this is the flip side of that pathway we were walking on just a little while ago.
Wo sind wir hier? Wir müssen nach da hinten. Nach da hinten.
This is crazy. Who knew such amazing technology existed?
Everything's topsy-turvy and that's all you can think about?
Müssen wir jetzt jeden scheiß Kampf machen.
Sits above us. I pray that we won't encounter many stairs along the...
Ja, scheiße.
I've got a
Das
really
ist so
bad
von
feeling
wie...
about this. I'm ready. I never miss. This is gonna need all of us together. Can't do it.
Aua, 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 aua.
Holy glimmer. First aid. Holy nothing gets by me. Requires lightning. Eat this. Ready up. Denied. Let me help.
Burn in hell!
Take this.
I can carve through walls!
Raging cascade. Lightning.
Destruction!
Outstanding form.
Destruction!
Alle haben jetzt so viel Leben. Kann das sein jetzt?
Okay, here I go. I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Okay.
Here I come!
Hilfe, Dame. Okay, schnell weg hier, schnell weg hier. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich die schon mal so viel besiegt habe. Weiß ich jetzt gerade nicht.
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down.
Take this!
Reload. I can handle it.
I'm not done!
Fury.
In a bind?
Burning. Water.
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Done! I'll leave it to you!
Armor won't save. I'm on a roll now.
Escape!
Healing circle.
Aua.
I'm on it! I'll run you through!
One at a time. Dance in the wind. Here.
Komm her, du Scheißvieh.
Destruction!
Autsch.
You're mine! It's over! Destruction! It's on!
Amazing.
You picked the wrong fight! Destruction! Inferno punch! Take this! I'm on it! I'm not done!
Not on my watch.
It's over! You're mine! I'll finish you here and now! It's over! Take this! Hey! In a bind?
Ready to go! Healing circle! This one's mine!
Here we go again! I owe you one!
Go! Now I'm only getting started!
Yes, und tschüss.
Prepare to crumble! A hard-won victory.
So, wo müssen wir jetzt lang? Da lang. Okay.
What are those? They look like Xion's thorns, and with flowers too.
Not real ones, though. They're just like that flower growing out of Rena.
We must be getting close to the Great Spirit now.
Hey, Rinwell, what was that thing you said about how a little bit of Dana's Great Spirit is inside all of us?
Right. That's why Dana's Great Spirit is so much more diluted. Weak, even. Whether it was a choice so it didn't overpower others, or just the way it is anyone's guess.
If that's true, then wouldn't it mean Dana's will could never form under natural conditions?
Yeah, sounds like that's probably the case.
So if Dana exists within all of us, then what if something occurred that brought everyone's hearts and minds together as one? That unity could potentially act as Dana's will.
You mean if everybody was, like, thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time? Come on, there's no way we could pull that off.
I know it's a long shot, but it might work.
Let's assume that's even possible for a second. Would it even be enough to fight back against Rena's Great Spirit?
If nothing else, it might be an option if we can't use the Renasalma.
Things are different here than on the surface.
That shows how deeply we've ventured into Rena.
And how close we've come to the real enemy.
Müssen wir da rein? Müssen da rein. Dann direkt wieder links. Du Scheiße, wir laufen geradeaus durch. Wir laufen geradeaus durch. Wir laufen dann so. So, dann kommen wieder die Scheißviecher und dann gucken wir erstmal. Okay. Und dann direkt dadurch.
What's with that shining foe over there?
Dadurch. Wir haben es geschafft. Yes. Okay, da ist wieder ein Aufzug. Alles klar. Eine zweite Ebene. Okay. Ich hoffe, dass wir es bald geschafft haben.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
War mir wieder klar, dass wir wieder kämpfen müssen.
Armor won't save you!
In here!
It's over.
You got company!
Your wings won't save you from me!
You picked the wrong fight.
Let's go!
Pesky airborne scoundrel.
Sounds like a job for you truly!
No escape. Now I can let loose. No escape.
Water, hear my call!
Destruction.
Astral Grit.
That's my cue!
Shut him down.
We are freaking
Alter Schwede.
far enough! No further!
Erstens weg.
To action!
I'm not done. Destruction. You picked the wrong fight.
Don't mind if I do!
Crush.
Now this one's mine!
No escape. Destruction. Look sharp. Lightning Tiger Blade.
See that?
That training's paying off. Struck.
Now I'm in the groove! You make quick work of them!
Enemies incoming!
These fists of Justin will take them down!
I'm not done. Destruction. You're finished.
Magic is
Not
there.
today.
Let me help! In here! First aid!
Struck.
I never miss!
I'm not done.
I'll smash you!
Field!
Crush.
There! Destruction!
Do it! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
More circles?
Keep calm and take them down.
Whirlwind! Destruction! Swallow dead! Destruction!
Reload!
Destruction! Demons descend! Flashing fang!
Easy! Way to go!
Destruction!
Aber noch ein klein bisschen hier.
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Eat this! I'll run you through!
Where are you going?
You're finished! Destruction! Dragon Shot!
Do it!
River!
Astral energy!
Perfekt. Gleich alle?
More!
Nein, doch nicht.
Destruction!
Kommt schon wieder so ein großes Vieh.
Hold on to your heart. This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Not a chance! Strike!
Radiant here!
Destruction! First strike! Destruction!
This ends now!
Consider
Komm
yourself
schon, der nächste weg.
Go, Elfin!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you!
Destruction!
Where are you going?
Here I come! I can carve through
Now!
escape!
Long!
More!
Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Eine Schlägerei hier von aller Feinsten.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Illuminate the dark!
My turn! You're mine!
Dragon Shell!
Lunar Rondo!
Holy Land!
You're finished! Lunar Rondo!
Searing tempest! Against my will! Flare tornado!
Here I come!
Lightning raging hurricane!
I'm not done!
Sleep now! Now! This ends now!
Am Schwung und der nächste weg.
Condemned! Radiant!
Nur einer, lauf mal einer.
Destruction!
Lunar corruption! Holy Land! Kikara frozen!
Altenhämmer. Wir haben es geschafft.
I've been doing really great lately.
Sehr schön. Oh, sehr viel gekriegt. Okay, dann müssen wir gleich mal gucken, was hier hin muss. So, wir sind draußen, glaube ich, schon wieder. Okay, wir haben 2 Eingänge hier. Nö, ich mag die Viecher schon, jetzt schon nicht. Ein Elixier. So, können wir hier irgendwie, da sind wir rausgekommen. Wir gehen dann mal hier rein, gucken. Oh, da war das Ziel. Da war das Ziel. Okay, da gehen wir jetzt gar nicht hin. Wir gehen zu dem Ziel. Kleiner Flugdrachen hier. Schnell weg hier. Hier hoch. Das könnte man eigentlich, wie gesagt, ganz gut leveln, aber ja, so viel Zeug habe ich gar nicht. Deswegen versuche ich so gut wie möglich voranzukommen, ohne... wir müssen darüber, okay. Alles klar. Wir müssen darüber. Glaube ich. Und jetzt. Genau. Wir müssen da lang. Okay, schaffen wir. Perfekt. So. Und draußen.
That
Wir
just goes
kommen
to show how
immer
important this
näher.
place
Wir
is.
kommen immer näher.
Or perhaps they simply thrived freely here under...
The astral energy here is so dense. It's like trying to walk through water.
I know the Great Spirit's will is in the center of Rena, but with the world in this state, the entire planet has become its body, right? So doesn't that mean we're already inside it?
I would say that is horrifyingly correct. After all, the further we climb, the denser the astral energy becomes.
What's the matter, Rinwell? Are you not feeling all right?
No, it's nothing like that. It just feels like the energy here is a little more intense than it was before.
You mean Rena's energy?
Yeah, it's like when I made contact with Dana's will in the wedge. It's almost as though I can understand what Rena's will is thinking.
But Rena's will is supposed to be a lot stronger. Aren't we risking the Great Spirit controlling us if we interact with it directly?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Rena's will is only supposed to control true Renans, like the Helganquil. If we can discern what the Great Spirit is thinking too, we might learn something, a weakness. But just to be safe, let me contact it alone.
Are you insane? Rinwell, you're gonna... Rinwell!
Okay.
There was only meant to be one world. And your goal is to make them one. Is this fear? What just happened?
Are you all right? Rinwell? Rinwell, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I think.
What were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed!
He's right. You had us all terrified, Rinwell.
I'm sorry. I really am. But I know now. I know how the Great Spirit thinks. I know what it wants. How it feels. Rena's Great Spirit wants to complete the world.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying it's trying to make something?
Yes, exactly. Originally, Dana and Rena were meant to be one world. But that never happened. They've stayed separated, and the Great Spirit wants to finish the process.
What do you mean, one world? How is that even possible?
I don't know, but its will is clear. That's what the Great Spirit is trying to accomplish. The only problem is that since Rena's energy isn't evenly spread like Dana's, it seems like it'll vanish before that happens naturally.
So it's trying to absorb Dana while it still can, so that it can force the two planets to unite. Is that what you're saying?
The Great Spirit is scared. But it's not scared the way a rational person would be. It's more raw and undiluted, like just pure fear.
Like an animal, acting out of instinct. Although admittedly, an animal would be easier to communicate with. At the very least, I have my doubts that it recognizes us as sentient beings with a reason for coming here. Earth, water, fire, and wind energy exist in both worlds, but only darkness and light can be found within Rena and Dana, respectively. The Renis Alma, as far as we know, the only host capable of harvesting the astral energy, is composed of all six. Knowing all that, Rinwell's findings do sound plausible.
That sounds a lot like Shion's thorns, doesn't it? The whole reason the Great Spirit is trying to unite Dana and Rena into one world is in order to save itself. And if her thorns are part of the Great Spirit, then they must also be trying to save themselves?
Alphen, what is it?
We thought the only way to free your thorns was for you to die. Yet despite that, they seem to be doing everything in their power to stop that from happening to you. Something wasn't adding up. But then I just realized something. If the Great Spirit doesn't want to die, then neither would your thorns. Those same emotions, that fear, that determination, and its energy must have been the same thing that was keeping you alive. You were its vessel.
In that case, is that why her thorns caused so much pain to anyone who touched her? Because they were trying to protect themselves?
If that's all true, then... well, it's more than a little ironic.
The Great Spirit merely expresses its desires. I imagine it was the Helganquil who were likely tasked with putting together and implementing an actual plan.
Shion.
I'm okay. We need to hurry and clean this mess up before it gets out of hand.
Still, even if the current state of the world is wrong like you said, does that really make everything okay?
If the world had been whole from the start, as it should have been, there'd be no Dana and no Rena, no masters or slaves, no lords, no crown contest, maybe just peace.
Okay, dann würde ich auch sagen, dann ist die Folge hier schon wieder vorbei. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, gerne einen Däumchen da lassen. Bis dann. Ciao.